Vice President Kamala Harris's search for a running mate is almost over. Harris's list of potential vice presidential picks is down to 6 of the Democratic Party's biggest stars. Among them, 4 governors, a cabinet secretary, and a U.S. senator. A source familiar with the vice president's vetting process said she's meeting with 3 contenders today: Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. That means an announcement could come at any moment, as Harris and her running mate are set to headline their first event as the Democratic ticket on Tuesday. By then, with the convention roll call vote closing at 6 p.m. Monday, Harris will go from the de facto nominee to the official Democratic nominee for president. Then, the newly minted Harris ticket will cover 7 battleground states in 4 days, starting in Philadelphia. The whirlwind tour will build on Harris's historic momentum since Democrats coalesced around her candidacy just 3 weeks ago. The Harris campaign said it raised $310 million in July, while Trump only pulled in $139 million in donations last month. And as we saw at his rally last night in the same arena Kamala Harris wowed the roaring crowd on Tuesday, Trump's not only playing catch-up on money, he's also casting about for a message against her.
She was considered grossly incompetent by the fake news. Now they're saying, oh, isn't she wonderful? Isn't she wonderful? No, she's not wonderful. So we have to work hard to define her. I don't want to even define her. I just want to say who she is. She's a horror show. She'll destroy our country.
Vice President Harris has largely ignored Trump's petty and pathetic personal insults. Instead, she's focusing on Trump's far-right policies and Project 2025, even though Trump is trying to run away from it faster than Olympic gold medalist Noah Lyles. And Harris is winning wide-ranging support, from white dudes for Harris to cat ladies for Kamala. Today, the broad appeal of her campaign reached new heights. Republicans for Harris. The, quote, campaign within a campaign has the backing of former Trump staffers and former Republican governors and lawmakers from across the country, including my next guest. Joining me now is one of those Republicans, former Congressman Denver Riggleman of Virginia. He's the author of The Breach, the untold story of the investigation into January 6th. Congressman Riggleman, thank you very much for coming to the Saturday show. So why are you joining this effort?
Well, thanks for having me. I think I might have some inside knowledge other people don't. And, you know, I saw the J6 data. I've seen the very phone calls that happened between certain types of individuals. You know, it was our team who found the Meadows text messages. We saw the Ginny Thomas text messages. We know the people that surrounded Trump. And I think people need to be aware that the same people that coordinated and pushed January 6th are the same people, but, you know, behind Project 25. I think that's the first thing, you know, that I saw. And I think that sanity matters. And I believe that sanity should be the baseline for anybody who chooses a president. I think Vice President Harris, you know, holds that down the line. I mean, look at what President Trump and the kind of people that he's bringing to a future administration. If he were to win, the former president, it's like a bag of rabid squirrels. And I think that kind of insanity and the people that he surrounds himself with cannot be part of our future. And I think that Vice President Harris really is the future when we're looking at this country, the demographics, and the type of people that we want to lead. And I think people with integrity, with sanity, but also with this case that America does have a bright future. That's why I'm supporting Kamala Harris.
So far, former Congressman Adam Kinzinger has endorsed Republicans for Harris. What about former Congresswoman Liz Cheney?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, my guess is that they might be waiting to roll her out in a special way later. You know, I'm not quite sure. All I know is what I know, right? And I know the data, I know the facts. And I think when you choose a president, it should be about facts. I also believe when you're looking at sort of the insanity and the irrationality and the radicalization that you see from people who are, you know, surrounding him that are QAnon adherents, the fact that he wears Q pens, I mean, everything that he says about the vice president, I think is absolutely horrid. You are looking at somebody I think that's cognitively impaired, and I think somebody that's having real mental issues. And somebody who would listen to their son to pick somebody like J.D. Vance, I think should be a real issue for most Americans based on his idea towards women. And I think that's the other thing, too. As a girl dad, you know, I think with my daughters, my wife, my granddaughters, I don't think there's a better pick than the vice president right now.
Well, since you invoked his name, you invoked J.D. Vance's name, do you think Donald Trump is regretting picking J.D. Vance as his vice presidential running mate?
I think he regrets it every day. I mean, when you look at his negatives, when you look at the things he says, right, he tries to isolate people. He tries to be cool. He tries to say funny things. But this is somebody, he swaps his views, so very quickly. And I think when he talked about what he thought about Trump just a few years ago and now what he's doing now, he's all about power. He's all about access. It's not really about the American public. And I think what you're seeing with a lot of politicians that are following Trump, it's about power rather than the American citizenry. And that's something, again, that's bothered me a long time. And if you're data-based, if you're facts-based, if you're rational, if you're sane, you just can't pick the Trump-Vance ticket. I mean, it's just ludicrous what comes out of their mouth. I mean, it's I don't know if they're sniffing glue, Jonathan. I'm just not quite sure what they're thinking.
Let me get your thoughts, given your experience with the January 6th Select Committee. Ask you a couple of things. Your response to Trump saying again this week that he would seek to, quote, absolutely pardon the insurrectionists.
It's ludicrous when you talk about the amount of weapons used, what they've done, what the court system has found. You got to remember, I got to see a lot of the charging documents, and what they were doing was absolutely heinous. When you're talking about trying to overthrow our government based on trying to either ransack the Capitol or have some other ridiculous, theories about what the former Vice President Pence could do. I mean, it's just insane, and it's conspiratorial. It really goes to a lack of intelligence. Or he's so cynical and he's willing to spread that ignorance and metastasize it amongst the American public. Again, there's no way anybody who was former Republican, who has conservative values, and I'm center right, I just don't think there's any way that they could think that the former president could serve in any way that's effective. And I think it could lead to some chaos and also violence in this country.
One more question for you here. As you know, Trump's federal election interference case is now back before Judge Tanya Chutkan, and she ruled like stuff's going to get moving very quickly. What could we learn if she decides to hold an evidentiary hearing with live testimony?
I think we're going to learn how absolutely insane President Trump and those around him, or the former President Trump and those around him are. I think also when you look at what's happening, and I want to tell the American people this, he's already a convicted felon. He's already an adjudicated rapist. I think if you're voting for somebody like that, you have real issues. And I know that we're going into this new legal timeline before the election. But right now, the voters, they should be deciding based on his judgment, not just on the type of crimes that he's committed. When you look at the judgment of this man over the past 8 years, I think you come to the same conclusion. Again, the sanity should be the baseline, and facts should matter when you're voting for a president of the United States. I think that person is the Vice President, Kamala Harris, right now.
Former Congressman Denver Riggleman of Virginia, thank you very much for coming to the Saturday Show.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
And joining me now, Congressman Robert Garcia of California, who's campaigning for Vice President Harris in Las Vegas. He's a member of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus and a member of the House Oversight and Homeland Security Committees. Congressman Garcia, always great to see you. Thanks for coming back to the Saturday Show. What are you hearing from voters in Las Vegas?
Well, people here are fired up for Kamala Harris. I have been here in Vegas throughout the day. Earlier in the eastern part of the city, we're now here in Southwest Las Vegas at the Southwest Field Office. There are over 100 volunteers that have been in and out since I have been here, making postcards, making calls. People here are really excited for Kamala Harris, and it's really important for us to be here in this state. We know it's tied as of the latest polling, but anywhere that we go, anywhere where I'm traveling, I am hearing people just really excited about the vice president. Earlier today, I was with a group of about 25, 30 Spanish-speaking Latino leaders from the community. They're going out door to door in Spanish, reaching voters who have never voted before. This is the energy that the vice president is bringing to the ground.
Okay, I just want to be clear to everyone. I misspoke. Today is Sunday, and I said Saturday. My apologies. Can you talk more, Congressman, about the Latino volunteers that you were with? Because up until the vice president became the top of the ticket, the conversation was how Donald Trump was pulling Latino voters away from the Democratic ticket. Is that still the case? Was that ever the case?
So two things are really important. First, if you look at the recent polling, you have seen actually Kamala Harris solidify the Latino vote. And even some vote that had been a little bit undecided in our community is now moving back to Kamala Harris. And so states like Nevada, like Arizona, like places like Georgia Pennsylvania, where there are significant Latino populations. This is a really important metric for us. So it's very exciting. Now, again, I was with these Latino leaders earlier. These are Spanish-speaking community folks. They are excited. They are talking in their own language to voters in their neighborhoods, to community members here in the northern part of Las Vegas. And what's really important about what I'm hearing from them directly is that they're more fired up than they've been in many months to actually vote. A lot of them know about her record supporting our community. I talked to them about her record supporting dreamers, supporting smart immigration reform, understanding the contributions of our community to the country. And so I am seeing this Latino excitement wherever I go. And I'm going to be out every single weekend out there bringing out, motivating Latino voters in English y también en español to make sure that they get out and vote for our nominee.
Congress, how are they responding to the race-based and gender-based attacks on the vice president?
Well, I think first, they all know, first and foremost, who Donald Trump is and what he has said, and essentially his racist rhetoric, whether it's been about Latinos calling us rapists and criminals, or the way they don't even, and he doesn't even acknowledge the vice president's own race or racial history. They're aware. These voters understand what the stakes are at this moment for our community and for our shared diverse community in this country. And I think what you're also seeing is what they see in Kamala Harris is someone that represents the future of our country, the beautiful diversity of our country that Latino voters also represent. I was really heartened today to hear these voters in their own language just describe their excitement for the vice president. I'm fired up. We're going to win. We've got to work really hard in this state and others. And I encourage all folks to get engaged, especially to our Latino community, to these communities that really need to turn out to win in these states.
Now, you've known Vice President Harris long before she became Vice President of the United States, probably as far back as California Attorney General or maybe even San Francisco DA. So knowing her the way you do, what does she need most in a vice president for herself?
I strongly believe that she is going to look first and foremost to somebody that can be president on day one and can fulfill the constitutional duties of the vice president. Kamala Harris understands the job and the seriousness of this decision. She has been vice president herself. And so she's going to look for someone that is ready to be president, and then also someone that can be a strong governing partner. And yes, the politics are important. Yes, we want to make sure that we win this race. But she's going to be looking also for someone that can do the job. And she has, by the way, President Biden, who's probably giving her the absolute best advice possible throughout this process, and her own experience as vice president. Let's not forget, Kamala Harris is one of the most brilliant people that we have in American politics that we've ever had to serve as vice president. She's being deliberate, she's being thoughtful, and I trust whoever she picks will be the right person for the job and the person that we all need to get behind, regardless of who she ends up picking.
You got a favorite?
My favorite is whoever she picked.
I had to try. Congressman Robert Garcia of California coming to us from Nevada, campaigning for the vice president. Thank you very much, as always, for coming to the Sunday show. Coming up, is that all he got? Donald Trump just can't resist attacking Kamala Harris on race and gender rather than her record. I'm going to talk with my sound-off panel about why he can't talk about a record or even articulate a plan of his own for the future. And later, a gender storm at the Paris Olympics, how an Algerian woman boxer landed at the center of a major transphobic controversy, and why it's hurting other top female athletes.
Herbal Essences is packed with naturally derived plant-based ingredients your hair will love, and none of the stuff it won't. Our sulfate-free collections smell incredible and leave your hair touchably soft and smooth. Herbal Essences.
20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Connect with a provider today at ro.co/20.
When my doctor gave me Breztri for my COPD, Things changed for me. Breztree gave me better breathing, symptom improvement, and reduced flare-ups.
Breztree won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breztree more than prescribed. Breztree may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Ask your doctor about Breztree.
Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun, saying, this is my message.
Sandals Rhythm and Blues Caribbean sale is now on. Visit sandals.com or call 1-800-SANDALS.
I still love to surf, snowboard, and of course skate. So I take Cunol Magnesium to support my muscle and bone health. Cunol's extra strength, high absorption magnesium helps me get the full benefits of magnesium. Cunol, the brand I trust.
Dad is a legend, and his legendary moves might be passed down to you. Dancing is just one of the many inherited traits you can discover with Ancestry DNA. See which unique traits you inherited, the places where they started, and the people you share them with. Get moving and try Ancestry DNA. You might learn what makes you legendary too.
After Homoglow cleaned our place for $19, we fired our old housekeeper. Homoglow tackled everything, from our kitchen to our bathroom, all our laundry. You just pick a date, pick a cleaner, and enjoy a spotless house for $19.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on DealDash.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56. I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
It's a hard conversation to have. When you die, this is what's going to happen.
Trust and will makes it really easy and succinct for people to go out there, create their estate plan. It's such an important thing to have. The things and the people that you care about are taken care of.
Create your estate plan at trustandwill.com.
This is a story about the one who keeps it all moving. He is measured, precise. He thinks ahead, stocks the right parts, and knows just where to find them. Because for the one, this facility is about more than business. The industrial-grade products you need delivered fast. Call, click Grainger.com or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I have an obligation to find a way of telling this story that is fresh, that has angles that haven't been used in the course of the day, to bring my experience working in the Senate, working in journalism for many years, to try to make sense of what has happened in that news day and help you make sense of what it means to you and what it's going to mean to you tomorrow and what it's going to mean to you next year.
We have this breaking news. Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, about 15 minutes ago, sent out a thing, I think this is on X, used to be known as Twitter, saying, my background is a bit different than most politicians. I spent my life serving in the Navy and at NASA, where the mission always comes first. Now my mission is serving Arizonans. Take that however you want to take it. I'm going to talk to my sound-off panel about that in a second. But again, Mark Kelly has put out a post on X saying, now my mission is serving Arizonans. So, ever since Vice President Harris became the presumptive Democratic nominee for president, Republicans are desperate to portray her as a coastal elite liberal responsible for inflation and the years-long influx of migrants at the southern border. The only problem? Donald Trump continues to go off script, hurling lowbrow attacks at Harris's race, gender, and intellectual capacity.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black? I think they'll look at her, I think they'll walk all over her. She'll be so easy for them. She'll be like a play toy. You know, if she doesn't have a teleprompter, she can't even speak. Did you see her the other night? They put a camera in her face, she can't even talk.
Joining me now, Maria Teresa Kumar, President and CEO of Voto Latino and an MSNBC contributor. Brendan Buck, MSNBC political analyst, former chief communications advisor to former House Speaker Paul Ryan and former press secretary for former Speaker John Boehner. And Eugene Daniels, MSNBC political contributor, political White House correspondent, co-author of Politico's Playbook, and I'm going to say it because it's not in the prompter, president of the White House Correspondents Association. Okay, Mr. Reporter Man. The breaking news, Mark Kelly puts out a thing on X saying, now my mission is serving Arizonans. What should we read into this?
Yeah, both a lot and maybe also nothing at all, right? The Veep stakes is always a little weird, and people who are at the top of the list often try to make it seem like they're not. What I've been told is that Vice President Harris kind of did the interviews today and hasn't told anybody anything, right? So this could be just him reading the tea leaves. You know, a lot of people around her seem a little less interested in Kelly over the last few weeks, a few days, excuse me. Part of it is because he's not out there. He's not someone who is, he's not very charming. He's not that effusive, right, as a politician. And she's looking for that in a politician. So he could be reading the tea leaves here that a lot of folks are a little less interested in him, but she still could pick him.
Oh, that's interesting. Maria Teresa, what do you make of this? Maria Teresa, what do you make of this?
Yeah, so I do think that the reason that he's on the top of the list is because he is from a border state, and it allows Kamala Harris, who is having trouble with her position on immigration on the other side, to say, look, we have an astronaut, we have a veteran, we have someone from a border state who understands the real issues at play. But I do agree with Eugene. I think that right now, because he's missing that dynamism that most people want, that it could be him basically saying, I think I might be pushing myself out. But let's be clear. I think whoever the vice president chooses is going to be the right nominee, because the energy that we're experiencing right now, not just on Twitter and on Instagram and the white dudes for Harris and the money that she's raking in, but we're also seeing it in voter registration numbers. We're seeing it in enthusiasm of, yes, we like her, but more importantly, you know what, I'm not registered to vote, but I want in. And that should be really a determinant of who is going to continue with that energy. But she can take this all the way to the bank right now, because people are trusting her to do the right thing for the country.
All right, Brendan, you are the Republican operative, the Republican senior official, highest levels of the Republican Party. What do you make of all this? What do you make of the Kelly?
I think we've all bombed an interview before, and it's probably you walked out of there and thought you didn't do so well. I'm just gonna get ahead of it. There was a Mark Kelly boomlet in the beginning because the astronaut thing and Arizona, and I think somebody who's worked in Congress, you follow Mark Kelly enough, you realize I'll just say it, he's kind of boring. He's kind of dull. And when you need somebody who's out there on the campaign trail who's going to be ginning up excitement and getting earned media and putting hits on the other team, he's just not the guy to do it. And I think they probably appreciate that. They've still got a lot of really good options, and he was not my top choice if I were them either.
Who is your top choice?
Well, I think the obvious choice is Josh Shapiro.
Okay.
Both based on his executive experience, he's a very good communicator, and then just the fact that Pennsylvania is the entire ballgame. If they lose Pennsylvania, they lose. And I don't know that having the governor of Pennsylvania wins you necessarily, but if it helps a little, I think it is worth doing.
Maria Teresa, what do you make of that? Well, do you have a top choice? I know you just said whoever the vice president picks, that's going to be the person. But come on, Maria Teresa.
Jonathan, you're just trying to get me into trouble. But I will tell you. If you look at Shapiro has Pennsylvania, I think that is important. He absolutely you can tell that he will go toe-to-toe with J.D. Vance. But I actually think that someone like Tim Walz, who understands Minnesotans and who can speak to Minnesota and who's helped transform the state when it comes to access to voting, he's exciting. And then I also look at Pete Buttigieg. And the reason I say Pete Buttigieg is because he is one of the few folks that has already been introduced to the Fox News audience. And the Fox News audience likes him. He is young, he's dynamic, he has a family, and he is able to wrap around this idea that the other side's going to say that that Vice President Kamala Harris is too woke. Well, so then she owns the future. She owns the fact that the majority of Americans actually believe in what Pete Buttigieg, what his family stands for, and what America stands for. And I also believe that if she were to choose him, she's also going to get so much more money coming out of the gay community in ways that people have never calculated. Right now, this is by having Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket. Her biggest chance of winning the White House is by increasing the young voter base. There's roughly 12 million young people that have turned 18 since the last election. What's going to excite the young base more than herself? It's going to be Pete Buttigieg, because it's going to be very hard to bring in some independent, moderate Republicans, even with a Shapiro on there. So making a calculation of what do you need? You need voters and you need money. And I believe that Pete does that.
Don't think I missed you saying Minnesotans with the hard O. with the hard O there. All right, in the couple of minutes that we have left, I'm going to bring this to the table. Let me bring up this Washington Post headline. This is element 2. Senate Republicans forgot Trump's recklessness. It's back to haunt them. And there you have this, this quote from Lisa Murkowski. Think about it. What have we been talking about all week long? Childless Catwomen, DEI candidates. Now, is she black? Is she Indian? Maybe they don't know how to handle the campaign. And so you default to issues that just should simply not be an issue. And I bring this up, Brendan, because this is another version of a story that was on the front page, another story on the front page of the Washington Post that said, you know, Trump's people want him to talk about issues, and yet he keeps rolling back into the rut of racism and misogyny.
Yeah, anytime they put him in an unscripted environment, this is probably going to happen again. Now, he was disciplined for a little while. That's easy to do when you're winning. That's easy to do when the entire conversation is about Joe Biden's age. Yeah. Now, when things are not going so well and the pressure is on, you're starting to see him. I mean, look, this is not new. This is what Donald Trump we have known for years and years and years. And just because he was disciplined for 6 weeks does not mean that he was a new person. So I expect this is going to continue, and you're going to see a lot more frustrated Republicans who think that he's blowing maybe Senate seats. There were Republican eyes on 53, 54 Senate seats, and that's probably unlikely to happen now. Now, they have a much better campaign. Let's not forget that. But your candidate always matters more than your campaign, and this is what we're seeing.
Right. And Eugene, real fast, one thing that I noted yesterday about the vice president when it comes to Donald Trump's racist and misogynistic attacks against her is that she ignores them largely. Is that going to be her stance for the entirety of this campaign? To just keep focusing on her plans for the future?
Yeah, I mean, what I've heard from the folks around her and in her campaign is that this is the strategy. The strategy is not to chase after every racist and misogynistic thing that Donald Trump or someone else may say, because there will be a lot of that. And instead, for her to just say what she said as soon as this came out after the NABJ interview, which was, this is what we know from Donald Trump, and moved on, right? That is kind of what we're going to continue to see. Now, that's always the strategy until you get hit, right?
That,
really
the
hard.
Mike Tyson quote.
But that's the way that they want to operate for now.
All right, we've got a lot more to talk about and not a whole lot of time, so don't go anywhere. Medina, today, so Eugene and Brendan will be back for more of our send-off panel after a quick break.
This is a hot flash. This is a hot flash. But this is a not flash. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms due to menopause, Veoza is the first and only prescription treatment that directly blocks the source of hot flashes and night sweats. With 100% hormone-free Veoza, you can have fewer hot flashes and more not flashes. Veoza reduces the number and severity of hot flashes day and night. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Increased liver blood test values may occur. Your doctor will check them before and during treatment. Most common side effects include stomach pain, diarrhea, difficulty sleeping, and back pain. Ask your doctor about hormone-free Veoza and enjoy more not flashes. You could save on Veoza. Visit saveonveoza.com to learn more.
20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Connect with a provider today at ro.co/20.
The best things in life come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 thumbs up. And now, buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, 2 months free. All with fast, reliable, nationwide coverage. Make the switch today.
Hey folks, Chris Cunahan here with Leaf Filter, America's largest gutter and gutter protection company. Leaf Filter has over 150 locations and has been installed on over 1 million homes. We've been protecting homes now for over 20 years. Our patented technology offers total protection for your home and comes with a lifetime transferable warranty. The process is simple. Give us a call to schedule your free gutter inspection. If you decide to move forward with the project, you put nothing down at all. 833 Leaf Filter or visit leaffilter.com today.
You know, there's this thing called age, and it sucks.
If you're over 50, imagine you could turn back the clock on your stiff, achy joints by years. Introducing InstaFlex Advanced.
It's restored my joints without just temporarily masking my symptoms. When you can find a product that can take that away to the point that you can live your life again, that is a miracle to me.
Get a complimentary sample by texting SECRET to 231231. InstaFlex Advanced targets the root cause of joint soreness and stiffness with a unique combination of 5 key natural ingredients. Key ingredients backed by 5 clinical studies.
I love this product. I'm telling you, it works.
InstaFlex Advanced is the #1 selling joint brand at GNC, but you can only get your complimentary sample by texting SECRET to 231231. Plus, text now, and we'll include a tube of InstaFlex pain cream for fast-acting relief absolutely free. Text SECRET to 231231 today.
When I started Laura Geller Beauty over 25 years ago, I realized there weren't enough makeup options for women with mature skin. So I put together an amazing kit of everyday products for women over 40. I call it the Daily Routine. Daily Routine comes with our signature Balance and Brighten foundation, our Marbleized blush, which flatters any skin tone, our Natural Glow highlighter, and of course, our favorite kabuki brush to apply it. Learn more about Daily Routine at laurageller.com.
Diabetes can serve up a lot of questions, like what is your glucose and can you have more carbs? Before you decide. With the Freestyle Libre 3 system, know your glucose and where it's heading. No finger sticks needed. Now the world's smallest and thinnest sensor sends your glucose levels directly to your smartphone. Manage your diabetes with more confidence and lower your A1C, the #1 CGM prescribed in the US. Try it for free at freestylelibre.us.
Okay, so you remember how we started the last block with breaking news and this tweet from Mark Kelly saying, "Now my mission is serving Arizonans"? Well, during the commercial break, Eugene Daniels checked his phone and saw that the tweet we had spent a lot of time talking about has been deleted. So, Maria Teresa, I'm going to come to you first, but I want to get everyone's reaction. What do you think that means?
Well, I think Brendan was right. He's like, all of a sudden, like, you walk out and you say, "Oh no, I failed the interview," and then the person on the other end says, like, "Actually, you may have made the short list." So that's exactly what's happening right now. It's like, I think everybody's scrambling. There's really no decision. From what I'm understanding is that the interviews are, have been conducted, but I think it's still kind of like a wait and see. And he may have taken himself out of the race, not unintentionally.
Brendan, you are in the middle box. What do you make of this?
Maybe it was a staff error. Somebody got something ready just in case. Maybe they have another one accepting the VP that's on. I have no idea. That's bizarre, and I'm sure we'll have to get some answers from him.
Eugene, what do you make?
It's hard to make anything of it. It was like 20 minutes of...
Check your phone. Maybe you got a message.
It might be back up. I mean, the thing is, Maria Teresa and Brendan are right. There's so much going on right now that everything that anyone does, like a staffer that accidentally sent out a tweet, or which, you have the mayor of Philadelphia who sent out a tweet about Josh Shapiro, which people took as like maybe this was happening. I think at the end of the day, the only person that knows right now is Vice President Harris and maybe a couple of people around her. I do think that he probably thought he was done, but he may not be. It's very weird. What a weird beat. What an election.
What an election. What a year. And it's only August. All right, so let me get in one more soundbite. This is Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, the Republican vice presidential nominee. Listen to, he was asked about how he feels about Democrats calling him weird.
I think that it's a lot of projection, frankly, Maria, from people who want to give transgender hormones to 9-year-old kids and want biological males to play in women's sports. They can call me whatever they want to. The middle school taunts don't bother me. What bothers me and what offends me is what Kamala Harris has done to this country over 3.5 years.
Brendan,
thanks for coming to me for this.
Well, I mean, how people are calling the guy weird, and yet he goes right into a culture war argument when he should be talking about something else.
Yeah, they're going to continue to call him weird until he comes up with a better answer than that. That's not how you get out of it, is by showing people that you're obsessed with culture war stuff. That's not what people are voting on. It's a campaign, both the top of the ticket and J.D. Vance, who seem to only know how to run in a Republican primary. And we're not running in a Republican primary anymore. Maybe that fires up voters, and it does in some areas. But that is not what you're trying to do right now. They're on a Fox channel talking about culture war issues when you should be trying to win over a general electorate, and they can't get out of that little box that they're in.
Real fast, because we only have about 30 seconds left. Any truth to the rumor last week, you keep hearing it from different spots, that Donald Trump is having buyer's remorse, having picked J.D. Vance. Any truth to that?
I mean, I don't know. It's very possible. All we've seen throughout Donald Trump is he often talks about people he's chosen and shops around people's views. Hey, what do you think? And once you've done that, you seem to have lost his trust, and it usually doesn't end well from there. I don't think they can get rid of him. But clearly, when he was asked about this and had an opportunity to give him some cover, he distanced himself from him, and that's not a very good sign for your VP.
Right. I think that was at NABJ. Was it NABJ when he said, well, the vice president doesn't really matter. Okay. Brendan Buck, Maria Teresa Kumar, Eugene Daniels, thank you very much for coming back to the Sunday Show on a very, how shall we say, strange, weird Sunday show. Still to come. She won an Olympic gold medal for women's boxing, but her toughest opponent turned out to be transphobic abuse online. We're going to talk with Axios' Ina Fried, live from Paris, about how this gender controversy exploded into a right-wing crusade.
What I gotta fix. If I'm not broken, oh, come on. Fix. What I gotta fix. What I gotta
You break it, we take it. Trade in any phone in any condition, guaranteed at Verizon. And get $800 off the new Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
Bounce back fast from heartburn with Tums Gummy Bites. And love food back.
I'm lucky. I found the one thing that I was put on this earth to do. And every day, as I inch one step closer to my vision, it reminds me that making it in life is all about the making.
At Ram, our calling is to build trucks. So when you find your calling, nothing can stop you from answering it.
Now, during the Ram Make This the Summer event, get $2,000 bonus cash allowance on select 2024 Ram pickup trucks and vans in dealer stock. See your Ram dealer today.
Okay, y'all, we got 10 orders coming in.
Starting a business is never easy, but starting at 8 months pregnant, that's a different story. I couldn't slow down. We were starting a business from the ground up. People were showing up left and right, and so did our business needs. The Chase e-card made it easy. When you go for something big like this, your kids see that, and they believe they can do the same.
Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase with the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
For more than a decade, Farxiga has been trusted again and again and again.
Farxiga.
Ask your doctor about Farxiga.
No one should have to choose between good vision and great value. That's why America's Best is slashing their prices. During the Wise Buy sales event, get 2 progressives and a comprehensive eye exam for just $129.95. Book an exam online today.
Try to clean a stubborn mess but end up with no success? Introducing the all-new Waterproof Horsepower, the new cordless and rechargeable power scrubber that cleans faster and easier, guaranteed. Watch, baked on oven grease is no match. It blasts away grime in no time. The power comes from our rotating brushes, spinning up to 350 RPM. The incredible torque fights calcium, mildew, mold, and more. Take it in the kitchen, where it busts through caked-on crud, or outside and tackle tough tasks with ease. Get your horsepower with 4 additional attachments, all for just $39.99. And find out about the optional Easy Reach brush. Great news! They're in stock and ready to ship. There is a strict limit of 2 per order. Order now.
Call 1-800-909-4997 or visit horsepowerscrubber.com. That's 1-800-909-4997 or visit horsepowerscrubber.com now.
As a cardiologist, when I put my patients on a statin to reduce cholesterol, I also tell them it can deplete their CoQ10 levels. I recommend taking Cunol CoQ10. Cunol has 3 times better absorption than regular CoQ10. Cunol, the brand I trust.
How can somebody being born, raised, competed, and having a passport as a woman cannot be considered a woman? All this hate speech with this aggression and abuse and fueled by this agenda is totally unacceptable.
That was the International Olympic Committee president defending Algerian President Iman Khalif. Khalif has been the target of intense harassment since the far right falsely accused her of being transgender. The 25-year-old is representing Algeria at the Olympics for the 2nd time and is set to take home at least a bronze medal. But author J.K. Rowling and other anti-trans activists have called for Khalif to be disqualified over an unspecified gender test administered by Russia. The Kremlin's boxing group ruled Khalif ineligible after she defeated a Russian fighter last year. After winning her match yesterday, Khalif again tried to shut down the rumors about her gender, saying, quote, "I want to tell the entire world that I am a female." Joining me now from Paris, Ina Fried, Chief Technology Correspondent at Axios. Ina, thank you very much for coming to the Sunday show. Khalif's first opponent this week quit less than a minute into their fight. How did that fuel misinformation about her gender?
I think people took that to mean that she was so much better, and then she was so much better because she was male, which she's not, and then therefore she must be transgender, which she's not. And it just, fueled into certainly the culture wars that you were talking about in the last segment, and it just went off from there. It fit people's narrative, and there aren't actually any trans women. There are transgender and non-binary athletes here, but they were all born female and are competing in the female category here in Paris.
Anti-trans groups have also attacked Taiwanese boxer Lin Yuting for failing Russia's so-called gender test. Why doesn't the International Olympic Committee care about those tests?
Well, the Boxing Federation that conducted these tests has been suspended by the IOC. They were suspended in 2019 and then removed entirely in 2023 amid a whole bunch of allegations. So we don't really know much about these tests. What we do know is she's qualified by all the rules that the IOC has set. She's boxed before in the Olympics. She's only boxed in the female category. She's only lived as a woman, and she's met all the rules. So there's 2 issues. One, certainly there are complications when it comes to both trans and what are known as intersex people whose genitalia or chromosomes don't neatly fit male or female. The Olympics has struggled for a long time with where are we going to be on that? And it's still very much a discussion. But there's no question that Imani Khalif and Lin Yuting meet all the rules. Now, there is this gender test that we don't really know about. All sorts of people on Twitter are convinced they know. We don't know.
Yesterday, the Boston Globe issued a correction and an apology after misidentifying Khalif as transgender. How has the media, Ina, contributed to the gender controversy in sports?
It's a real problem, and certainly it's bad in the United States. It's worse in England and other places where the media is actively anti-transgender, but we've turned it into an insult. Again, no one's saying that being transgender is okay. It's just she's not transgender. So there are so many things here to unpack. And one of the things that's really interesting is one of the groups that's been the strongest in support of Imani is the trans community, because we know what it's like to be persecuted, to be questioned, to have our gender attacked. And the people who are attacking her are ostensibly women, feminists. They're saying they're trying to save women's sports. The only time I ever hear from this crowd about women's sports is when they're trying to exclude people. I'm a huge women's women's sports fan. I go, I support them. There's a ton of issues in women's sports to get to equity, but they're all about equal pay, equal facilities. Trans and intersex issues are a challenging issue, but they're way down on the list.
One more question for you, Ina. Far-right activists have criticized American athletes, too, including rugby player Ilona Mayer and swimmer Katie Ledecky. How does this policing of strength and appearance harm all women in sports?
It really does, and the trans community was early to point this out, that when you set rules and you try and police gender, it ends up hurting all women. And we've seen this at the level with Mayer and the rugby players. We've also seen it at the high school level. When states have passed these laws, we've seen cisgender kids get transvestigated when some parent is unhappy their kid lost.
Ina Fried of Axios, thank you very much for coming to the Sunday Show, especially since it's, almost 1 in the morning there in Paris. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And coming up, you've heard of black women, white women, and even white dudes holding Zoom calls to support Vice President Harris. Now, a Cat Ladies for Kamala Zoom event kicks off in about 15 minutes, and thousands are signed up to participate. Take that, J.D. Vance. I'll be joined by one of the organizers of that call, none other than Rashonda Lias, content creator, and there with her is Nut Megan the Stallion. They're going to be with me next on the Sunday Show.
What Tractor Supply customers experience is personalized service made possible by T-Mobile for Business. With T-Mobile's reliable 5G business internet, employees get the information they need instantly. This is how business goes further with T-Mobile for Business.
I thought I was sleeping okay, but I was waking up so tired. Then I tried new ZzzQuil Sleep Nasal Strips. Their 4-point lift design opens my nose for maximum airflow, so I breathe better.
And we both sleep better and stay married.
Better days start with ZzzQuil Nights.
Subway's offering 20% off any sub, any size. Woo! 20% off subs is fun to say. 20% off subs are fun to eat. You'll love 20% off subs. The point is, any sub, any size. 20% off at Subway.
Whether you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s and beyond, I know you're seeing changes in the skin on your body. Don't panic. It's never too late to transform yourself and your skin. And Crepe Erase is here to do just that.
Crepe Erase has been delivering smoother, firmer, younger-looking skin for almost a decade.
Did you know that Crepe Erase is America's #1 selling anti-aging body treatment system for dry, crepey skin? That's because it works, people.
The Crepe Erase 2-step system is clinically shown to reduce crepey-looking skin the very first time you use it.
I just love my skin. I didn't love it before. I love it now.
And now there's big news. We're introducing the Skin Revitalizing Tool, specially designed to amplify the power of Crepe Erase.
This is the Skin Revitalizing Tool. It is new and it is free. Yes, you heard me right. It's free when you get the products.
Crepe Erase is already an incredible deal at only $49.95. But when you order today, we'll send you the Skin Revitalizing Tool, a $129 value free.
I mean, it's like having a spa in your hand.
And you'll also receive our luxurious neck repair treatment, a $49 value, free.
Since using Crepe Erase, the skin on my neck looks airbrushed. I love it.
These two incredible bonuses are valued together at $178, but they're our free gift to you.
Crepe Erase is something I recommend to my patients because it works.
Don't wait. Get all this, a $247 value for only $49.95, plus free shipping.
If you're not reveling in your younger-looking, soft and sexy skin, just return the bottles, even if they're used up and empty, and we'll give you your money back.
This is a limited-time offer that will not last. Scan the QR code, call, or go to crepeerase.com and order right now.
I still love to surf, snowboard, and of course skate. So I take Cunol Magnesium to support my muscle and bone health. Cunol's extra strength, high absorption magnesium helps me get the full benefits of magnesium. Cunol, the brand I trust.
Can Sugar Ray Leonard do everyday tasks wearing boxing gloves?
Happy birthday.
And now putting on his new ArchFit Skechers Slip-ins. You just step in and go with comfort that will knock you out. Try new ArchFit hands-free Skechers Slip-ins.
What's up? You seem kind of sluggish today.
Things aren't really moving.
You could use some Metamucil.
Metamucil psyllium fiber helps keep your digestive system moving so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil keeps you moving. And try Fizzing Fiber Plus vitamins.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too.
That was Republican Senator and now Vice Presidential candidate J.D. Vance with his now infamous comments back in 2021 on child-free women. Since then, he's doubled and tripled down on his attack. Well, at 7 p.m., more than 21,000 ladies and others will gather to try to make him miserable by rallying in support of Vice President Harris. Cat Ladies for Kamala will be holding a Zoom call for action, organizing, and fundraising for the de facto Democratic presidential nominee because, as the group's logo says right there, quote, "We're not going back to the alleys." Joining me now, Rashonda Lias, content creator and owner of All Is Fair in Love and Fashion Boutique. She is hosting tonight's Cat Ladies for Kamala Zoom call. Rashonda, welcome back to the Sunday show. How did this call come together?
Yes. Oh, my goodness. So I simply made a post after my birthday. I was like, it's back to business, right? I know I've heard what he said, and I said, we need to get a call together. Little did I know, there was a call already forming. Okay, so we have founders, Blair, Lindsay. They were really already having something going on, and they saw my post. My post went viral. I said, where are the cat ladies? We need them. And now it is happening. And as of 5 minutes ago, we have almost 28,000 registered. We've raised over $20,000 before the call. We've already been in action.
Because, you know, in the intro, I said you had 21,000, so now you're up to 28,000. I also was about to note that, well, before you made the announcement that you're up to 20,000, that you'd already raised 10,000 this afternoon when I was working up on looking at this script and the questions. So here's the more important question. Where's Nutmeg? Where's Nutmeg?
She's over here cleaning. She's over here cleaning herself. Would you like me to? You know, you can't control cats, right?
I know.
She does not.
There is Nutmegging. So Rashonda, I saw that post yesterday. She went Hollywood, given her TV appearance today. Has there been any response from the Harris campaign to your Cat Ladies for Kamala effort yet?
I have not heard from anyone yet. I am hoping that they will see and know that we are behind them 100%. This is history in the making. So fingers crossed, okay? And one day, Nutmeg may be in the White House.
Do you think Vice President Harris can keep up this enthusiasm all the way until November?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody is pumped, right? We have less than 100 days. Well, it's like 90. We got it. We got it. All of this, and I'm so glad that they did it when they did it and how it happened. I can't even believe it's only been 2 weeks. But this momentum is going to carry us through to election. And I know that this is the better choice, period, point blank. So there's no discussion about it.
Well, let me get you on another thing, because I've spent this whole weekend talking about the racism and misogyny that Donald Trump has been hurling at Vice President Harris. What do you make of it?
It makes my stomach turn, first of all, because then that just opens the gateway for everyone to be racist and everybody to be misogynist and sexist. When all you can simply do is just shut up. It's easier. Why be transphobic and homophobic and sexist when you could just be quiet? And then hate spread and ignorance, also misinformation, all the things. All that comes from the head.
And then for friends or loved ones who you might know who are still on the sidelines, still thinking, I don't know if I want to vote. What's your message to them?
Oh, when it comes down to voting, first of all, for Black people, I am all about history. Okay, there at the top of my thoughts is always Miss Fannie Lou Hamer.
Various allergic reactions can happen. Otezla may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Some people taking Otezla had depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur.
With clear skin, Girls' Day Out is a good day out. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too.
That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? I don't do that. This reminds me of my bike. The wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way? Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really?
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank.
Hey!
Brought my +1. Jamie.
Moving forward with node-positive breast cancer, my fear of recurrence could have held me back. But I'm staying focused and doing more to prevent recurrence.
Verzenio is specifically for HR-positive, HER2-negative, node-positive early breast cancer with a high chance of returning as determined by your doctor when added to hormone therapy. Verzenio reduces the risk of recurrence versus hormone therapy alone. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm focusing on what counts.
Talk to your doctor about reducing your risk.
You know, there's this thing called age, and it sucks.
If you're over 50, imagine you could turn back the clock on your stiff, achy joints by years. Introducing InstaFlex Advanced.
It's restored my joints without just temporarily masking my symptoms. When you can find a product that can take that away to the point that you can live your life again, that is a miracle to me.
Get a complimentary sample by texting SECRET to 231231. InstaFlex Advanced targets the root cause of joint soreness and stiffness with a unique combination of 5 key natural ingredients. Key ingredients backed by 5 clinical studies.
I love this product. I'm telling you, it works.
InstaFlex Advanced is the #1 selling joint brand at GNC, but you can only get your complimentary sample by texting SECRET to 231231. Plus, text now and we'll include a tube of InstaFlex pain cream for fast-acting relief absolutely free. Text SECRET to 231231 today.
That'll do it for me. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next Saturday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads using the handle @WeekendCapehart. Don't go anywhere. Sam Stein is in for Amen and has the latest.
Good evening. Tonight on Amen, the final test. We're live outside the home of Vice President Harris with her announcement of a running mate due any moment, as one of the contenders posts a cryptic message on X and then deletes it. And do VP picks even matter? Donald Trump says they do not, which J.D. Vance is wearing as a badge of honor. Plus, how to buy a president. One effort is flying under the radar while another unfolds in plain sight. I'm Sam Stein in for Ayman Mohyeldin. Let's do it. All right, decision day. It's upon us. At any moment between now and Tuesday, the first big decision of Kamala Harris's presidential campaign and of her presidency, possibly, it will be announced or it will be prematurely leaked. NBC News has confirmed that Vice President Harris had in-person meetings scheduled with 3 Veep contenders today. That's Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, and Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, who just